Good evening, my name is Katarzyna Nowicka and welcome to Poland Daily News. Around 3 p.m., the Ministry of Health reported new cases of infection in the country. Unfortunately, the coronavirus death toll has also increased. In the hospital in Racibórz, an 82-year-old man died who was in a serious condition and suffered from pre-existing conditions.
According to the report, the number of infections in Poland has increased by 133 today, bringing the total number of patients in the country to 1,771. This morning, the Ministry of Health informed about the death of a 75-year-old man in Bytom. In turn, the 20th death in the country was an 82-year-old patient of the Racibórz hospital. Both men suffered from pre-existing conditions.
Małgorzata Kidawa-Błońska, the Civic Coalition candidate in the presidential elections, announced today that she is suspending her campaign. Kidawa, who earlier called on Poles to boycott the elections in an open letter, stated that her latest decision does not mean she will resign from the presidential race.
Apeluję po raz kolejny do rządu, że te wybory muszą być przeniesione.
I appeal once again to the government that these elections must be postponed. These elections must not be held at this time. The lives of Polish people must not be underestimated. If the government does not change its decision, I appeal to all Poles. Take care of your families, take care of your loved ones and stay at home, because your health and your life is the most important. The elections should take place at another time when you will be able to exercise all your civil rights. I also appeal to my other fellow candidates for presidency. It is time for us to say clearly and emphatically that the elections on the 10th of May cannot take place. I am suspending my campaign completely. I will only carry out the tasks which are facing the members of parliament of the Republic of Poland. If the presidential elections took place today, close to 50% of respondents would vote for President Andrzej Duda. These are the results of the latest survey of the Estimator Polster for dorzecze.pl. President Andrzej Duda, who is seeking re-election, would receive 49.8% support of voters. This is an increase of 3.4 percentage points compared to the study conducted 2 weeks ago. Małgorzata Kidawa-Błońska is currently in second place. The Civic Coalition candidate can count on the support of 17.1% of respondents. Compared to the last survey, this is a drop of 3.3 percentage points. The leader of the Polish People's Party was the lowest on the podium, with a result of 15.4%. In the case of Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, a clear increase is noted by as much as 5.3 percentage points. Robert Biedroń obtained the support of 10.8% in the study. The MEP and left candidate for president recorded a drop of support by 0.6 percentage points by comparison to the previous study. The Confederation candidate Krzysztof Bosak can count on the support of 3.1% of respondents. This means a decrease of 1.5 percentage points. In last place is Szymon Hołownia. 2.9% of respondents declared they would vote for the publicist, a decrease of 4 percentage points. 0.9% of respondents declared that they would vote for another candidate. Around 700,000 infected and more than 30,000 deaths. This is the latest toll of the coronavirus pandemic in the world. There is hope that the fight with the virus might move forward thanks to a new test developed in the United States, allowing to detect the virus in 5 minutes.
The United States are currently the world's epicenter of COVID-19, having reported nearly 125,000 cases of infection. President Donald Trump is on the verge of introducing a quarantine to the largest centers of the virus.
If you are from the New York metropolitan area and you travel elsewhere, we need you to self-quarantine for 14 days to help us contain the spread of the virus. And I am now considering, and we'll make a decision very quickly, very shortly, a quarantine because it's such a hot area.
Meanwhile, the United States Food and Drug Administration approved of another test for coronavirus, which can be conducted directly at a doctor's office and provides an immediate result. The Abbott company stated that it has plans to distribute the test next week and increase its production to 50,000 units per day.
Generates an accurate test result in a matter of minutes instead of hours or days. And that enables the healthcare provider to see a patient, diagnose a patient and take the necessary interventions in a very short amount of time.
In Europe, Italy, Spain and France remain the biggest centers of the virus. More than 10,000 people died as a result of the epidemic in Italy. Last night, the disease took the lives of 889 Italians. The number of infections grew to 92,000. Today, Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte announced the approval of new measures for helping those affected the most by the pandemic. I have just signed an act providing mayors with €4.3 billion from the City Solidarity Fund, with 66% of advanced payment for the municipalities. We are doing this before the actual term, which was set for May. Spain is also struggling with the crisis caused by COVID-19. The number of infected there has risen to more than 78,000. Police control was raised in the city of Madrid. Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez led a special session of the government today, where even more extreme preventive measures were introduced. I announced that tomorrow the government will adopt an extraordinary measure. Let me stress this again. All employees which are not essential must remain at homes for the next 2 weeks, just like this weekend. The situation in France, where there are more than 38,000 infected, is also becoming more dramatic day by day. Doctors in Paris warn that the intensive care wards will be overcrowded at least until the end of the weekend. Together, we must face this great challenge, make an intense effort, a long-term effort, because let me state this clearly and honestly, the fight is only beginning. The first 2 weeks of April will be difficult, even more difficult than the past 2 weeks. According to the data collected by the American Johns Hopkins University in Maryland, there are approximately 680,000 infected in the world, and more than 30,000 people have died.
That's all for tonight. Now on to Poland Daily Business with Aleksander Wierzejski and his guest. Good night.